All right, welcome back. Glad you tuned in today, and a new face. Hopefully, one that'll come back a time or two and do some videos from time to time. So we've talked about doing this for a
Yeah,
while.
many times.
All
Just
right. So this is Larry. Welcome, Larry. So this is the thing that I do from time to time, and you message that you're going to swing by. And I'm like, hey, we should actually do that whiskey video we've been talking about. So you said, oh, twist my arm, right?
Yes.
What did you say?
that has never been a more silly question to ask.
Now, in fairness, it is a little bit early on a Monday while we're recording this, but
It's afternoon.
it's afternoon. So I haven't had too many calories today, so I'm not gonna feel pressure on myself to drink all of this. But I thought since you're gonna stop by, you introduced me to Old Elk a couple years ago, and I don't know that much about the distillery. You probably know more than I do.
No, I just know it comes from out west.
It's like Fort Collins, Colorado,
Yes,
I think, right?
I believe so.
I feel you always have this pull, you personally, this pull to the out west. So
The roads, yeah.
the roads,
And now bourbon.
and now bourbon. Well, I guess use those, mix
Yeah.
those together in moderation, right? So,
Yeah. They could say separate areas.
But what I found with Old Elk, ever since you gave me that first, I don't even remember what it was. I don't know if you remember what it was. It's probably just one of their straight bourbons. But they have a lot of different varieties, and today we've got three. But I thought we'd try a few because I've been really pleased with what I've seen from Old Elk. I don't have it down here today, but one of my favorite bourbons that I've ever had is their cigar cut. I think you and I
Yeah,
probably
we were
enjoyed
eyeballing that one.
a time or two. But let's just dive in. So the first one we're going to do is the I didn't remember my glasses. The 4 grain. And what I like about this is they do a good job of sharing on their bottle. It might be a little hard to see, but they share a lot of details about this. And I like when
Yeah,
distillers
I've
do
never
that.
seen one that showed the mash bill.
Yeah, some do. A lot don't. But
That's a cool little
yeah.
feature.
So again, there's no pressure, but what we do is we swirl it around, we stick our nose in, we describe what it is that we're smelling, talk about it for a moment, and then once we're done with describing what we smell, then we'll take a sip or two and describe what we taste. So there's no wrong answers here. Everybody's nose and palate are a little bit different. So anything that jumps off the nose for you right away?
This the smokiness, but I'm trying to place what kind of smokiness they're distilling it with.
Well, what I find, I've had a few different 4 grains in addition to this one. Actually, I have one. Actually, that Anita's Choice.
Yeah.
That's a 6 grain.
Okay.
So what I find with the multiple grains is it seems to add a layer of complexity, and there's usually some different notes in there versus a traditional bourbon. Right. Not that it's right or wrong. It's just different.
No, it's just a whole other side of the street.
Yeah, we've got corn at 51%, wheat at 22.5, barley at, I think that says, what does that say?
Barley is 19%.
Okay,
Nope.
and then
Yeah, 19.
And then rye is 7.5, and it's a blend. So it's a mix of their high malt bourbon, which is a 5 to 7 year, and then their wheated bourbon, which is a 6 year. So it is a blend. But anything on the nose that sticks out to you? I mean, to me, the ethanol is a little bit stronger than this one.
But there's almost like a cherry smell.
Yeah, I guess a cherry. And I need your eyeballs. What proof are we talking about? 7 underneath the 4 grain.
4 grain. Oh, 105.9.
All right, so it's up there a little bit. All right, so you got some cherry. It's a pleasant nose.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm, almost getting like some oatmeal in there, but there's no oats in it. But
I just a hint of cherry.
Cherry. All right, I'm gonna give a sip here and see what we taste. It's like, for me, it tastes. There's like I get the cherry on the taste, but it's almost like I'm eating Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah.
Right.
There's kind of almost, I don't know why it's like a milky type taste to it that's really sweet but good. It's really good mix.
Yeah, there's some sweetness there. The rice spice comes in a little bit for me toward the middle back, and then I can feel it kind of deep in my throat. And
warms
It's
you
like
all the way down.
it's a warmer, yeah.
But it isn't a burn,
No.
but it's a warmth all the way down.
And to me, there's a little bit of a buttery note.
Yes,
there,
that's what you have.
And I think that's where you're getting sort of that mouthfeel, that
almost creamy kind of taste.
Creamy, yeah.
I was like, how are they doing that with a bourbon? But
well, it's wild what
they're doing.
Yeah. So Old Elk, 4 grain. Any other thoughts on this one before we move to the next one?
Well, it's like finishing your cereal bowl.
Well, again, there's no pressure. It's up to you.
Finish this one.
We don't waste it. If we don't drink it all, then I've got an infinity bottle where I pour things in. So that let's just say that infinity bottle is getting more
it's
and
getting
more.
topped off.
It's getting it's got so many different things in it. It's just really hard to pin that one down. All right, we're going to move now to the Old Elk single barrel straight rye whiskey.
Yeah.
This is actually a store pick. So have you done much with the store picks?
No, a friend of mine has though several, and they've always seemed to pan out real well, especially if the manager seems to pick them.
Yeah, and it depends. And so this one's 113.5 proof. This one does not have as much information about the mash bill, but let's talk about store picks for a second. Store picks, it's contingent on the person picking it.
Right.
So sometimes, like in this case, this is from a Big Red store pick. So, they're probably picking something that has a wide appeal because Big Red is a big store, right? Some of the smaller stores can be hit or miss.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to your mom and pop liquor store, it's probably good to understand more about the person picking because they may pick something that you
is totally off of what you want.
Right. So store picks can be hit or miss, but like I said, bigger chains, they're usually pretty safe. Yeah. So again, we'll do the same thing. We'll dive in and the rye spice is very, very prominent on this one, I think. Because there's kind of a spiciness to me. There's a maybe
almost
even
a chocolatey kind of smell.
Sometimes I think that happens with rye.
Yeah.
I get a little bit of earthiness too, like maybe a little bit of some wet hay. I don't know.
I'm not getting that so much. Almost like dark northern Indiana soil. That in the spring when they're plowing.
Yeah.
It smells like that.
There's an earthy tone to it for sure.
It's good.
A little bit of chocolate, I get that, and the rye spice. All right.
Down the hatch.
Yeah, here we go. See the chocolate?
That one's smoother.
It is smoother. It's a higher proof too. But it is.
Oh, there's a little buzzy, almost burn on this one on the back of the tongue on the way down. Not too much, but just.
Yeah, you can tell this is a rye whiskey for sure. Sometimes, with a rye whiskey, well, I don't know, there's so many variations, but for me, the classic rye whiskey experience is it kind of starts to burn, again, not in a bad way. I do get that chocolate note a little bit on it too.
It's hiding in there.
The first one, this one had the cherry note, and this one's got more of a chocolate, like a dark chocolate. Yeah. It's been a minute since I've had this.
It's fine.
It's pretty good. It's really good.
I'm amazed how smooth they can make their bourbon.
I'm getting a little, on that second sip, a little bit, almost like a peppercorn a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
That would be the spice, yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
No, I'm enjoying it.
All right.
It's a good drinker.
Well, when you're ready, we can move to the third in our today's tasting, and this third one, this is Old Elk straight rye whiskey. So technically, this is a straight rye. This is as well. This is the store pick, and I think this is just their regular variety. And I cannot read. What does the proof say on that one?
Let's see. It just says, yeah.
Yeah, you may have.
I got to pull it closer.
Vision impaired here.
Yep. 50% alcohol.
So this is 100 proof. I don't think this is bottled in bond. But anyway, so this is their straight rye whiskey. So we'll be able to now compare and contrast from what we just had.
I noticed how more of a reddish tone.
Yeah. And I don't know
versus,
that any of these have any age statement on these two bottles. I don't see it. Doesn't mean that it's not stated. It just doesn't say it on the bottle, I don't believe. So, which is a thing sometimes. Sometimes they say, sometimes they don't. This one, they come out and tell us it's got 6 year and 5 to 7 year. But these, I'm not reading the fine print.
oh, 5 years.
5 years on this one that we're drinking. I don't know about that one. It doesn't say. Yeah, go ahead. And I'm comparing the two noses. I mean, this one also is, for me, on the nose, very rye forward on the nose. It probably doesn't say. They don't.
It doesn't say though, no.
Yeah. It's not unusual. It just depends.
But it's distilled in Indiana.
So if it's distilled in Indiana, that probably tells us it's actually an MGP.
Yeah.
So not necessarily, but probably is. So, you know, Indiana's making good stuff. It's being aged in Colorado.
Yes.
Here we go, right?
This one's more muted on its smells.
It is. Which, you know,
yeah, it's not. Yeah.
It's 100 proof versus 113. This is, you know, this was a store pick, single barrel. So we would expect single barrel to probably have a little bit more different things, whereas this one's probably going to be a little bit more muted from a single barrel. Soft, rye spice. Again, there's an earthy element to it. It's not quite as strong as the one we just had. I don't pick the chocolate up on this one. All right, I'm going.
I'm having a hard time picking up.
Yeah, it's not a lot of depth on the nose.
Very mellow, but you know, it's not like you're sniffing rubbing alcohol.
No, to me, this one very smooth. I don't feel the rye burn as much.
No, it's really tamed down. So somebody that's not a big rye drinker,
this is a good one.
That would be a good one for.
Now, this one was a little saltier in price, so that's the only drawback. And I don't remember what all these cost. It seems to me, if my memory serves, that Old Elk, the way they price in a little bit more of a premium.
Yes.
Versus, you know, some entry level stuff. But this is a good, if you're trying to get into rye.
Yeah, a nice upper middle part of the road.
It seems to me, I think something that's common in a lot of ryes, and I get this a little bit here. Sometimes there's like a spearminty, almost, I would say like a mouthwash.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So this, to me, there's a hint of a little bit of like a spearmint in there. And this is all a personal thing. So, you know, everyone's going to have something different that they pick up on the nose, something they pick up on the taste.
I see what you're tasting there, that hint of almost a spearminty type.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like, and this is an exaggeration, but like the blue colored Listerine.
Yeah. I don't want to say that, but that's what I'm saying.
It's kind of like that,
yeah.
But blue colored Listerine, any Listerine for that matter, is going to burn everything inside your mouth, and it's not like that at all.
No, it's a lot more tame than Listerine.
It's sort of the aftertaste that you get.
Yes, that
mild. There's a little mint.
Yes.
Maybe a little medicinal kind of feel to it.
Yes.
But that's a good sipper. So, any other thoughts on these Old Elks before we wrap?
I was going to say this one by far was about my favorite.
Yeah, and I don't remember when I got this, but I think I've had this for a little bit. And I should have brought my glasses down, but I think I've had this for probably a good 6 or 9 months. But
okay.
Anyway, usually when I see something Old Elk, I'm going to look twice, and there's a good chance I'm going to pick it up because, like I said, that cigar cut that I have upstairs, I only got this much left, but that's one of my favorites of all time. So, but these are all pretty fantastic as well. So, thank you for introducing me to Old Elk.
My pleasure.
All right. So,
thank you for sharing.
And thanks for showing up and doing a video. We'll do this again real soon.
Definitely.
All right. Thank y'all.